start streaming.
It says on custom live, it says streaming is now live. I think we're live. Are we live, guys? I don't know.
Whoever said, Sean, grab a kid to help you with the tech. Go on. Go on.
Little brother.
My little brother here. Well done, little brother. I think we're live. Are we live?
We're live. We're live. Hi, guys.
All right. Thank you, people. Once again, as you know, if you follow me on this channel, I am a tech tard, and I've proved... Well, I've really outdone myself again today. So sorry for keeping you waiting.
You know, we're a trading show, and Sean runs a blockchain.
My computer completely melted on me today. I've just got out of quarantine. I've been on a bus all day.
He says, whatever.
Anyway, Lisa, we'll give me a hard time shortly. Let's give the people what they want. What the hell is going on with Bitcoin?
Well, Bitcoin crashed, didn't it? So today wasn't actually the biggest crash that we've ever had, surprisingly. So we've had bigger ones, which is, you know, epic. So I will share my screen, and we'll go straight into like talking about some market crashes, because just to put it into perspective for everyone, so that, you know, we can sort of, as my cat scratches up everything. So this was sent to me on Twitter. So thank you. I need to say hello to some people that are watching. So I've got Andrea, I've got Archer, and thank you to Archer, like, for selling his ETH at the bottom because we bounced. So, yeah, and I'll say hi to Adam. I know he's watching. He says he doesn't, but he always does. So hi. And yeah, so this is our big crashes that we've had. So in 2012, obviously we were only $7, but when you're sort of trading, and we know by alts, by how much money people have in alts, that $7 down to $3.80, 50% or 49% loss is massive. So, and that's kind of what we see in a lot of the alts at the moment. So from, you know, our biggest one that we had was obviously from, we've got an 87% in January 15, which lasted almost a year and a bit. And then, so we had that bear market. We had quite a strong bounce in that one, and then it continued on. Obviously, the one that everyone knows the best is the previous all-time high from the 17th of December right through until the 6th of Feb 18, where we saw like a massive drop of 70%. So we saw that was the biggest one-day drop in Bitcoin in history. So we had such a massive drop. So today I think we've had about a $10,000 drop, which is huge, which is a 25% drop, which in comparison to all of these drops is not massive. So when we put it into those,
is it going to keep going down, Lisa? Is it going to keep going down?
It's going to keep going down for a little bit. So I think we're going to get a bounce here. We're going to get a few bounces along the way, but we are going to see a little bit more.
Let's get that Bitcoin chart up. I've been trying to get my computer to work and get the screen going for the last 2 hours. I haven't had a chance to even look at the price for the last couple of hours.
Hang on, I think the video has dropped out. This is an error. Please try again later. I don't know what that is.
We still appear to be live, no?
No? Are we? Oh, it's just me.
We're live?
No, it's just me.
It's rubbing off on you. Very good.
Yeah, it's just turning off on my computer, on my laptop there. I'm like, hang on a sec. What's going on? I'm turning into Sean.
Don't do that.
All right, so let's get straight into some Bitcoin. I'll share my screen again, and we can have a look. So this is the target that I had on this chart. So we had a target of, I had 42,800 to 44,300. We fell just short of that. So we had a lot of sell pressure in this region over the last few days. Yep. So, you know, I did think we had one more wave up. but you know, whoever had all that Bitcoin that sold it onto the market today decided we didn't have one more wave up, we had more waves down. So if we zoom in, excuse me, this is a daily chart, and we can see this drop is quite epic. So these are the EMAs. So I've got the 9 and the 21 EMA on this chart as I die. And we can see that it's caught perfectly on this EMA. So this one is the 21. And it's a really good indicator for the daily and the weekly. So I like to use the 9 and the 21 when I scalp, and I also use them on the daily and the weekly charts. So just randomly, I like the 100 and the 200 MAs on the low time frame. So for the 15-minute through to the 4-hour charts is what I use those ones on, and they give me support and resistance levels. So these ones give me support on the daily and the weekly. So we've absolutely nailed that 21. So which is one of the support zones that I showed on Twitter. We went a little bit just above the one that I said on Twitter. So this is Bitfinex. The other chart that I had on Twitter was a BitMEX chart. They have slightly different levels at times. So we can see by my fibs, we have a little bit of a way to go. So I don't think this is the end of this correction. While we've got a bounce here, I think we will have a little bit of sideways for a little bit. So I do think we still hold 30. I don't think we're dropping below 30. So if we have a look at this, this diagonal resistance that we had, this came from the previous all-time high. It came from this wave 1 here, and then it proved to be this huge resistance when we were trying to break through for this run. So for this region, this $10,000 region, we had like a 2-month period where we stayed under that, and we kind of moved sideways. So when we broke out of this region, we retested this as support. We've come down, perfectly retested, and then we've taken off. So we have a diagonal resistance, previous diagonal resistance going this way. So at this point on the wave 1, we have this cross, we now form this cross resistance. So this, a cross resistance is a really strong support. So this comes all the way, if we pull this up, we had issues coming through this area at around 23,000. We had quite a big drop in this region. We had a $3,000 drop. So it has become this support and resistance region. So, you know, we've tested this twice. We've broken through on this time here. So we haven't come down to test this as yet. So this is the time that we're going to come down and test this. If not,
sorry, what's that level? Brilliantly, Zoom always covers up their numbers with our pictures here. It's
hang on, let me pull that down. So in this, this is 30,355.
Yep.
So we should ignore the time, guys. Time has no bearing on this because everyone always asks me that. Time is the only thing I cannot predict. I can predict everything else on this chart, but just not the time. So we could pierce this with a wick. So if we do pierce this with a wick, there's a possibility we could go around to the $28,000, $27,000 levels. I really don't think we're going to break that 30 level. So there's a technical pivot on the $30,000 range. And once we crossed that, that confirmed that we were going up to that 42, which I thought was 42,800 range, which we just fell short of. So, so if we have a look at the waves, I zoom in on the waves. So basically if this is a larger correction, we could have just finished our A wave. So this might actually be the region where we start to see that development of that that level, that base 3 that I've been talking about, because we haven't seen that yet, and we do actually need a larger correction. So this is kind of possible in this region that we bounce up, we attempt to break this region again without being successful, and then we come down and have another big drop. So. Yep. That's a very likely move in a bull market. So the other thing is obviously, we don't always get the D and the E wave. Everyone on Twitter always hears me saying it. So, we come down, we've got an A, a B, a C, and a D. So we could come down and have that sort of pattern here and get, that kind of that base that I've been talking about. So, and that's
Choppy.
really, really possible.
Very choppy.
Yeah, so it's going to be very, very choppy for the next couple of months. And, we have come into the sort of the sell-off tax season. I did say in January, we're going to have sort of, a downturn in the market. It looked like it was going to go up forever for a little bit. And so hopefully everyone on Twitter watched my stop loss video and they set their stop losses and they, protected their profits and they were able to buy in lower. Yeah. So this bounce has been actually really, really good. So, from this low here. So
where did we actually get down to today? I haven't had a chance to look in the last couple of hours. As I say, I've gone full techno-tard. I've been trying to sort that out. It was sort of 43.2 and looked like it was dropping fast.
Yeah, so on Bitfinex we went to 32,670. So right. Yeah, so it's quite
hearts and mouths for a lot of people, Lisa. Where are you sort of so you're sort of seeing quite solid support around 30?
Yeah, so we've got really, really solid support around this region. So I do think we will touch the 30K mark or around there.
Where would you panic if we break down?
If we break 30K, I'll start to think, well, hang on a sec, my TA's not quite there. Well, what have I done? What have I done that it's not moving as it should? So we've had really, it's bouncing on all the right places. Like it's, it was starting to worry me a little bit, earlier today when it wasn't retouching MAs. So last night when I went to bed, I really thought it almost did retouch the MAs and it fell short and then it had a greater drop. So when it starts to do that, then it's like, okay, I know we're going to have a greater dip in this region. And, we can see right now. So if we zoom right out and we go to a 15-minute chart on this, we can see that we're coming up to touch to retest these MAs. So if we have a look at what's been happening. So this was overnight and we miss the MAs. So the MAs do come down. So these MAs were higher. They were at 41,400 last night. So we were aiming for that, but they continued down. And then this morning when I woke up, again, they failed to hit the MAs. So we really, 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 really need to test this MA now, because if we don't test this, we are going straight down to 30K. So if we don't hold 30K, potentially there's a much greater drop. So there's going to be like a cascade of stop losses within that region that are just going to sort of like trigger like a domino effect. And
I'm looking for an entry at the moment, and but what I'm hearing sort of worries me slightly. It sounds like a wait and see scenario.
I would enter because obviously we don't know when the reversal is going to be. We had quite a big bounce this morning where we saw about $3,000, come back into the market, but then we continued lower because we didn't reach and test these MAs. So there was no strength in that bounce. It was just, somebody market buying, going, okay, I'm getting back in Bitcoin. This is a good price or whatever. Exchanges releasing tether. So right now, we do have enough waves in this wave count to continue higher. So if we were to have a look at, what we've got here. So if this is the A wave, we've got a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. So we've got 5 waves within this pattern. So this does need to reverse here. It's reaching up. So it's actually doing a pretty good job here of, moving higher. So the RSI had bottomed out as well. So if we pull the RSI up, we went right down to 17, which is unusual for Bitcoin. When that happens, we do get these big bounces. So it's not often that we do get a 17 on Bitcoin. It usually sort of hovers around the medium range of 30. When we do get below that, we get quite strong bounces, and it sort of the reversals at that point. So, it has struggled today, but it looks to be doing much better in this region. So I think we are getting, if not a reversal here, definitely a short-term reversal. I think, if we start going, we're in a B wave now. So a B wave is an ABC. So at some point we will start going down again. But it's whether we break the low. So this is what this should look like. So overall, so we've got this wave here. So, we should see probably around this A wave hitting around these MAs here, which is probably about 39,000. I think we'll fall just short of the 40,000. We'll come back down. Everyone will be saying that the world's falling and we're going to 20,000 again, and we're going to fill all the gaps, and then we'll shoot back up again. So
what's the funding rate looking like? Have you had a look at that today?
No, I haven't had a look at the funding rate at the moment. So hang on, let me have a quick look. I know it was really, really, really getting high. So, and we saw that again, longs were like overly long. So, and that's another thing to look at. So you need to look at sort of the, the ratios. I'll get Sean to put the link for that. I've got all the different exchanges with all the different shorts and longs on there. So that link will be under the video here. And so when that sort of, when you get an oversupply of longs, whales come in and go, this is easy money. So we can push the market down, kill all the longs and all the stops, and it just cascades. It's a domino effect. So, and, we can see by the charts that aren't margin traded, they held. So a lot of the alts that we don't have in margin, just didn't even move today. So it's amazing. BCH is not a margin traded coin on Bitfinex anymore. So, and it hardly moved until halfway through the day. It was actually still going up. It made another like 10 or 15% this morning. So, that's kind of like what margin trading does to the market. It provides liquidity, but it also provides these massive moves with the stop losses and the triggers and everything like that. So
speaking of BCH, let's stay with the Bitcoins, Lisa. BSV finally.
Oh, BSV is dead to me. I'm sorry, guys.
The hell it went down there.
Oh my goodness. So I was in a meeting, and like all I could hear was alert, 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 alert. I'm like, that's not BSV, is it? And then I'm looking and I'm like going, oh my God. So, so if we have a look at that, I think it went back to where it began. So,
oh, really? Is it?
Yeah, look at that. It's depressing.
What? Oh, God.
It's a hell of a depressing chart. So, so it basically went back. It retested the MAs. Yay. Go BSV.
Good God, that's a monster move percentage-wise. And basically,
yeah, like I thought it would go to 225, and I thought, that's kind of where I'm like, okay, BSV is going to settle it at there, and then Bitcoin kept going, and everyone, I don't know what happened.
BSV has got 24 hours of fist pumping, and
they're all like, yay! No.
Oh.
So it's quite a depressing chart. It really is. It's not the only one that did it. EOS did a very similar thing. So EOS went to the 40% target and then dumped. So, this was a massive, massive like region. Hang on, I was being naughty and shorting it earlier. So this massive pump here. So we had 90% shorts on BSV the other day. So, and I was talking to Brendan on Twitter, and he was like, "Why do you think BSV is going to move so much?" And then I said, "Have a look at the shorts." So we had a look at the shorts. Shorts were at 90%. So, like I was saying, it's easy to move the market when you've got something to push up. So when shorts release, they buy into the market. So, it's got that domino effect where it just keeps going. Yep. So we had this massive 150% move. Then we had this massive 150% drop. So everyone's checking their portfolios going, whoa, rich, I'm rich. No, I'm not. It's like, I was rich.
Now, Lisa, obviously not financial advice here, but just coming back to BTC for a second. I've got a couple of people that are looking to enter the market.
Yeah.
As investors.
Okay.
And I guess if you're coming in as an investor, the best time to buy Bitcoin was always yesterday, blah, blah, blah. But what would you say is a decent or prudent move at the moment? Is this kind of wait and see a little bit here, or
a little bit, but I really think we're going to form this pattern. We've had a good strong bounce. As long as we can touch this MA here, which I think, we're really reaching up. We're not far off it now. The 5-minute chart has already touched the MAs. So, we've got, it'll come down and meet it. We've got about another 1,000 to go. And I really think that's going to happen. So if we go back, we can see, in this move here, it took, so we've hit here on the 4th of Jan, and, it took a whole day before we hit this MAs. So, this could be the case here as well, where we sort of move this sideways before we can get up and get enough strength. When people are going, okay, it's not going down, I better jump in and get myself some cheap Bitcoin. So, yeah. Especially if this chart plays out. So this chart sees us going to over 60,000.
Yep.
So once this correction's done, I've got an upper target here of 65,000, and it's actually really, really possible.
Agree.
So, I think this is our major wave 4 that we've got here.
That cheap entry.
An entry, so down to 30,000. I think down to 30,000 anywhere in this region is a good entry. So obviously with a stop loss, and if you are not trading, a really good way is to just buy a small amount every week, and it dollar cost average naturally. And that way, sort of 1 week the market might be up, next week the market might be down. And that's how hodlers do it. So
I agree with that strongly. There's certain people that I hope are watching this that I've been talking till I'm blue in the face that just don't want to do that. No, I want to just buy it all in one go. Come on, when should I do it?
Well, they can buy it all in one go, and if they've got money down the track, they can put some in. Yeah. So,
I suppose the attitude for some of the people coming in to invest now, they've
so
done the homework. They do see we're looking at six figures plus moving forward. So I guess if you've got enough money and 30K or 40K doesn't matter, then all right. Go for it. To me, I want to buy the lowest entry.
Shut up, Sean. Apparently there's a hodler's rule book where you don't buy on a green day and you have to buy on a red day. So you have to buy, and it's best to buy on the second red day, apparently. Right. Yeah. So
tomorrow then.
There you go. Buy tomorrow, because we'll probably have another red day.
Okay. So I don't think we're going to look at 1 million altcoins tonight, but we would definitely have
actually it blew my brain. So this is Ethereum, and it's bounced out of the channel, but it's gone back in, which is nice. Ethereum's actually a lot stronger than Bitcoin right now. And it's moving in much better patterns and holding. So we can see, we've got, if you're charting, like this is a 12-hour, we've got this doji candle, which I should have seen and known that we were jumping. So this doji candle means that it's a 12-hour chart. So in the next 12 hours, it will be going down, which is basically happened in this chart. And normally I do, but it's obviously that candle closed when I was asleep. And then this morning I woke up and went, oh my God, what happened to everything? So this Ethereum has bounced right to the support. It's like this green line has been on my chart for such a long time. And this is the technical pivot on Ethereum, and it's nailed it. So it's absolutely nailed it. And it's come down, it's bounced really strongly. So the technical pivot is actually at $1,000 as well. So Ethereum to me is a no-brainer to reach a new all-time high this year and to keep going. So, you know, I've got massive targets on Ethereum. I've got about a 5,500 longer-term target, which, you know, who knows in this market how long longer term is going to be. You know, with all the stuff that's happening in the States at the moment, it's so crazy over there. And, you know, with COVID and presidents that don't want to leave and riots. Yeah.
What's next?
I don't know. I don't want to think. I really don't want to think about that. So
It's been good to see the resilience of crypto throughout all of this, though.
Well, yeah, it's been, you know, as much as like, you know, we've had this drop today, we've been waiting for this drop for such a long time. Everyone's been talking about when's this big rug pull going to happen. So obviously it's today. You know, I really truly believe ETH holds this like sort of region, and it just sort of moves sideways for a little bit before it starts heading up. It may come back down and retouch this region one more time. That's possible, and you know, wouldn't blink an eye if it did to happen.
Any thoughts on who's selling, Lisa? Is it maybe just from a regional perspective? It seems like that we've had quite a few big whales out of Korea and Asia in general that have sort of led a bit of a sell-off when you look at the time zones of how it's played out last few days.
Yeah. So there was when I woke up and I saw the big sell-off. So we can see that if we go to the quant charts, we can see that a lot of those miners from those regions, from China, from Korea, from those regions have all moved BTC onto the exchanges. I woke up and I had 250 whale calls in my inbox. So that's how much BTC came onto all the exchanges. So, you know, that $40,000 mark is a really, you know, sort of psychological mark where, you know, people will start taking profit, especially when you can start taking profit and you can buy back 25% lower as we've done today. So, you know, we didn't get that opportunity on Ethereum because it hasn't dropped that huge percentages. But then again, a lot of the alts, except for BSV, haven't really, you know, dropped out of pattern. Litecoin and XRP were a couple that, you know, had major drops. Litecoin dropped down to the diagonal support that we've seen for such a long time. So we had this, you know, this region sort of building here. We've had this bounce. It's moving perfectly. So, you know, we're starting to tick up. XRP has had a really strong bounce. So my original chart said we would hit this point and then we would go down, and I changed that. I went, no, it's so bullish. We're going to keep going up. And we didn't, obviously. So I think my stop got hit about here. So I've rebought in around the MAs. We could come down and see one more drop and then continue up. So, you know, this pattern is still really valid. It's still looking really good. We haven't broken this lower support line. As long as this lower support line holds, I'm still really bullish on XRP over the next, you know, sort of coming month.
To me, a lot of that one boils down to, do they get a slap on the wrist and a fine and this thing pumps like crazy?
I think they get a slap on the wrist and a fine and it pumps like crazy.
Yeah, I'm not going
to disagree. I think, you know, it's been delisted off USA exchanges. It's not getting delisted off global exchanges. So, you know, all of that meltdown that we saw was just an overreaction to news that people didn't quite understand. So, and at the time I was like, on the fence, what's, you know, kind of happening. But it's you know, it's a massive big part of the crypto market. You know, it's hovers between 4 and 5 on the coin market cap.
Yeah.
And you know, for that to get delisted, it's a major sort of player in the crypto market, and I just think it's going to be a slap on the wrist, and that's about it.
I agree. I mean, if you look at the likes of Standard Chartered, which is they've got it as one of their 4 coins, they're gearing up. They're launching their desk now. They actually have had that within the bank for a while. So as much as I've always been a little bit negative on XRP, I do think it will be a slap on the wrist, and therefore
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to look at. Hey, you might give me a bit of a slap on the wrist for this one, because I haven't sort of mentioned it to you until now, but I've heard gold is a very interesting chart right now. Have you got a gold
is
chart
not
there?
interesting. Gold is not
It's
interesting.
taken
It moves about 2 cents.
Well,
Like,
have you got a chart?
have a look at XRP today. So it dropped down to like, that's a, you know, it's like a 10-15% move. It's like,
I think I just got a slap on the wrist.
it's like, let's have a look how much that moved. Oh, look at that. It's like nearly 20% move today, Sean. Does gold do that? No.
It has had a bit of a move down, but it does look poised for pretty strong.
I can give you an e-gold chart.
You love rubbing this one in my face, don't you?
Well, this one's
By
awesome
a year
because,
telling me to buy it.
like, e-gold didn't hit my stop today. It has held perfectly. We pierced this diagonal, but it's like my stop was lower. So it's like, it's one of the charts that really, like, it's just looking around. It just keeps going. It goes from strength to strength, and it's like, just keeps making the dollars. Can't complain. Hate to
like
be
a sly smiley face.
All right, I'll load a gold,
God,
a boring gold chart for you. Let's have a look at the boring gold chart.
Oh, I've had a number of people ask if we could have a quick.
Oh, look, it went down
significantly, but what's its next move?
This chart's so old, it's not even in my pretty colors. It's like in
I was
the
about
boring
to say,
colors.
it's not a Lisa chart.
Yeah, because it's so old, it hasn't been changed for years. So if we have a look at gold, we can see that we are in A, B, C. We're now, we're not in, we've finished, we've completed. So let's have a look. A, B, C. So we've got that correction. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I haven't touched this. I've just opened this chart. That was my buy line that I gave somebody on Twitter like forever ago. And they laughed at me saying that it was going to 17. I'm like, it's going to 17. So have a look. I want to just show. Oh, look how perfect that is. I'm just admiring my work.
You're amazing.
I know.
What's going to happen next with gold then? Show us how amazing you are.
Okay. I'll live chart it for you. So we've got 5 waves here and we've got a correction. So we are still within that correction. So then we'll go, I will put some Fibonacci on here for some people, but we need to have an ABC within this region. So we look to have completed the A, will come up for a B. So we've got A, B, C. We'll retest above this region. Let me grab fib retracement. You guys can see how I do my fibs. So gold has dropped right back down. We are on the 786. So that means that we will come up to the 238 and we will come back right down to here. So my target on gold is in this region. So that will be our 2. And then we will have, so now that we've got our 1 wave, we can see where gold is going from here in. So I don't know what my dog's barking at. So we actually have quite some big moves on gold in the next little bit. So we should go up to about 2,600 mark on gold. So being as it's gold, it'll probably take 3 years.
I think it's a lot of people are like, why the hell are you looking at gold on a crypto show? But I think these macro moves at the moment, I think it's quite
yeah. So we've got a bounce coming in on gold soon. We'll have a target around just under the $2,000-ish mark, and then we'll come back down. So that's kind of what gold's doing right now. So we have this is a 3-day chart, and it's just crossing over on the MACD. RSI looks very, very stable. So yeah, so we do have a bullish move up on gold, and then we'll have a further correction. So yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, I'm looking at some entries into Bitcoin and Ethereum, not gold. That's all a little bit too.
We had digital gold.
Digital gold, absolutely. I think people have figured that out at long last.
Yeah.
So, do we have an alt of the week for? Well, you gave us about 30 alt charts last week, Liz.
I did. So I'm just going to have quickly
anything in particular you think?
So we've had people selling me hodl. No, I don't have enough tabs open, Coach. I think I've got about 20 at the moment, so it does go up from there.
Oh God, are they all your altcoin charts up the top there?
Yeah. Neo. I will do Neo because Neo has actually moved beautifully as well. So Neo has the new, I think it's phase 3 coming out. And so Neo has had, we've hit this target, we've had our correction, and we're going to continue up. So from this point on Neo, we're about here. We've got about 120% move coming up over the next little bit. And I don't think that's going to be a long-term move. I think that's going to move quite rapidly with what's happening in the market with Neo, so with the developments that are coming out. So yeah, let's have a look if we've got anything else.
I've got one. I've got a part of the HardForking team, and he gets so annoyed with me because I always forget, and I haven't told you to look at this chart, so I don't know if we can do it or not, but it's something called DSLA.
DSLA. Let's have a look.
You might just have to do it off CoinGecko. I don't think you're going to have certainly not going to have one prepared, but we could have a cursory look. Otherwise, he'll never talk to me again.
I have a DSLA chart.
You do? There you go. What's happening with DSLA? It's gone down.
It's gone down. So, which is kind of expected. So I will actually show you. So this is the break point on this chart. So we can actually drop a little bit more, which is not an issue on this chart. So we haven't held this parabola, which is okay. Sometimes they do pierce through. So if we have a look, I will show you, we can see this move, which is quite a really nice move on this chart, but with this drop, everyone panic sells. So this is our wrapped ether. We're down the bottom on the RSI, and the MACD is just starting to turn up. And so this is going to take off very soon. So if we load a new chart and we have a look at NPXS. NP. So this chart absolutely took off. This was one of the calls we did. So if we have a look, we dropped out. We had this parabola here, and we dropped out of the parabola. But the same as what we see on the DSL chart. Have a look at this move.
Yeah.
So we did 250%. It just absolutely went to the moon. So if we go back to the DSLA chart, it's the same. So we've got this parabola here, we've broken down, and we should continue up. So another one that's in this pattern is Kai right now as well, because there's a lot of people on crypto Twitter that you know, love this chart. So this one as well has broken down out of the parabola. It's holding this break point. And for me, this is a strong buy in this region because I really think it's going to take off. So both these charts are the same, and they're the same as the NPXS, the Pundi chart. So this one's got a potential 500% move. So, you know, when we're looking at this as well, so we see, so if we do get a little bit of a longer correction, this is a 760% move on this chart potentially. So, you know, it's like these are not out of the realm of possibility for these low cap coins that they can move these giant percentages. So, you know, we go up to this top Fibonacci and we've got almost 1,000%. So, you know, this one's worth just buying and forgetting and then checking back and going, whoa, I've got 1,000% on this. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's not something you're trading on the daily. Just on that note, obviously, you know, we're both getting inundated with questions about these alts. The way Bitcoin is behaving at the moment, any sort of thoughts and insight into how you're approaching alts at the moment?
Well, the alts, everyone keeps asking me when's alt season. It's like in the last week, I've done 100% on Loom. I did 270% 440% on Nano. I woke up one morning and Nano had literally gone to the moon. So it's like, you know, we bought right back down here, and you know, obviously with Nano we were holding for a while. That's okay. We did 400%, so 414%. It did. So you know, I woke up and I just moved my stop up and went, oh my god. So yeah, that was pretty epic. So, you know, for all those keep asking me when's alt season, slap 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 slap. That's what I do to them on Twitter. So another one here, I'm going to quickly just run through some alts that they should be looking at and picking up so that have held pattern. Maker has turned perfectly where it's meant to. Loom was still going up when BTC was going down today. Ravencoin hit the perfect and it had 5 waves up in this channel. It's come down. It's held all of the indicators. ZIL is just about to take off. It's finished its correction. Reserve rights RSR. Now this has held the diagonal support. We did break out of this channel here. We've come back in but held this support, so that's going to take off. Dogecoin, Elon Musk's favorite. So I think we may get one more small little drop and then we're going to take off again. It's new. Omnisec Go has been the bane of my existence this week and keeps hitting my stop losses.
It's been the bane of my existence for 3 years.
Oh my
I just
God.
refuse to buy it. This is frustrating the hell out of me.
Like every time I looked, it had hit my stop loss and I'm just like, ah.
Actually, while we're talking about a Mesa ago, have you got a loop ring chart by any?
I do.
Another layer 2 ETH project that's had some big moves lately.
I have a chart for every occasion.
You do indeed.
So it's, let me have a look how deep this is corrected. It looks to be almost done as well. Yeah, so we were in the golden zone on this one. So that's a good, really, really good correction. And we should start seeing some movement on that one. So yeah, this one would be a buy. So if we're going to, if you know, sort of want to ladder in, you could possibly ladder into around the sort of the 22.5-ish mark. You might get a wick down to that region if BTC decides to have a hissy fit again. But this is a nice looking corrective chart. So we've got a clear ABC within this region. So if we zoom, we can see the A, the B, and the C. So to me, that looks, you know, this is a 4-hour chart. We're bottoming out on the RSI. You know, it's looking really good. You know, most of these alts still look really good to me. They've had, you know, strong corrections. You know,
TA show, but I do like the FA on that project.
Yeah, so this is Stellar has had a strong bounce today. So it held pattern, so it didn't cross over. This, you know, it had to not go lower than this region. It hasn't. So, you know, all the alt patterns have really, really held. So, you know, if you weren't trading them and you were holding on to them long term, these are looking really, really good. So, what else we got? So Tomo Chain held the diagonal. BCH today was still going up, hit the target, and it's come back down, held the diagonal. It's still a little, BCH is still a little oversold, so it may sort of move sideways in this region for a little bit longer. Waves is taking forever, so I don't know if anyone really wants to be trading this. It's really slow right now. We had a look at Pundi.
The BSVers must be pretty upset with Kim.com for going with BCH for his project, I'd imagine.
I'd say so.
Ruffled
really
sort of feathers, putting it mildly.
Yeah. We've got a question about Chainlink. Let me bring that up. So Chainlink hit target, but then dropped out of this channel, which is very annoying. But anyway, we've come down and we've held. We dropped under the diagonal, but we've pretty much. Hang on, let's tighten this up, clean it up a little bit. Oh no, that we've perfectly on the diagonal, so we can see that this is support. This is our resistance here. And now we've got support in this region. So it's bounced twice on this support. So it should continue up, retest these MAs, come back down a little bit and then head up again. So this is a low time frame 15-minute chart because I like to look at these charts just for the strength of the chart. So if we're looking at that, we're coming back down, we're going up. We've got a strong resistance at this red line. So we might take a little bit to break through and then we should head up. So that's kind of the journey that Chainlink's going to take at the moment. So we are going to see a little bit more up. Our MACD is ticking up. Our RSI is looking really strong. So we've got, you know, this movement here that we can see. We are under a little bit of a resistance at the moment, but I think that will be okay. I think that should pass through. So we might sort of, you know, come down a little bit and then head up. But yeah, all in all, the alts to me have, you know, they've all landed on support zones. They're all looking really strong. So this is, you know, a correction and a pullback that the market needed to have. I know people don't like them and I know they get upset about them, but I think it's a strong correction and the bullish sentiment should, you know, continue to return. As BTC goes sideways, you know, Chainlink and most of the coins will hit their next wave one in this next pattern. And then as BTC hits that sort of, you know, that 40-ish range, expect a pullback on all of these as well. So yeah, there we go.
Very good. Very good. Thank you for jumping on today. It's been a wild ride. I've finally got out of quarantine and had a wild ride down on a bus and appear to have broken my laptops. borrowing my brother's right now, so all a bit frustrating and flustered. But thank you and apologies to the people that were waiting. That was my fault again.
Oh, hang on quickly before we go. I did promise. Did I do dot? I didn't do dot, did I?
You didn't do dot, and I saw you were commenting on my live stream with the shitcoiners the other day. You're a massive fan of this project, aren't you?
I am a massive fan. So Dot actually corrected perfectly, picked up my order. I was so excited. So we've got diagonal support on Dot. So this is our first wave in this pattern. We've come up. So that's where my diagonal comes through. So it touches on this previous. So if we can zoom into this range so we can see how I do this. So this diagonal here comes down. So we've got this swing low that becomes there, comes up to the wave 1. And then this is a really simple way. If you don't know how to use Fibonacci or you don't know how to use Elliott wave, this works probably about 70 to 80% of the time. And this will give you the 4th wave retrace. So we can get this on the diagonal support. So we've got wave 1 here. This is our wave 3. We've come down for this 4th wave. It is hit perfectly on this diagonal and will continue up. So that's pretty much how it works. And that's a really simple way of getting a retrace target without knowing Elliott waves or Fibonacci's or anything. All you need is a diagonal. You draw it on. You need to know where the peak is, where the previous swing low is, and you will get this mark here. So we can, if we were to put...
Easy, Lisa, isn't it?
Really easy. So I've just told everyone the easiest way to do something. So that's my lazy way of doing everything. Everyone always sees, like, because it works. So I will go through and I will check sort of what sort of range it has been retracing to. So Dot likes to, if we are to have a look at all these retraces, we retrace on Dot between the 0.5 and what we call the golden zone, which is the 618 to the 65. So it has held this diagonal. If BTC does correct, it may come down to this golden zone. That's okay. It's not a big sort of drama. It's still looking really, really bullish to me with these upper targets. So we've got upper targets 11 of, so we've got 10, 11 and a $14.60 on this one. So if we're looking from this point and we're moving up, we've got 100% move on Dot. So, you know, that's a really strong move coming up over the next coming months. Yeah.
Okay. There you go, kids. I hope you learnt something from this. I certainly did.
Learned my really, really easy, lazy technical analysis.
Thank you very much, Lisa. That's certainly clarified a few things for me. I think I know where the entry is for Bitcoin, and yeah, I'm pretty keen to top up an Ethereum position and finally take a position in Dot.
Yeah, I think Dot's a really good position to have, sort of, you know, over the longer and shorter term. You know, especially with 100% move coming up. So, you know, it's really good.
Okay. Really good. Yep. Interesting week ahead, hey?
It is. It will be. It'll be very volatile in BTC, I am sure.
Well, no, you've called that choppiness for the last week or two, and your other calls getting us to where we've got to have been bang on. So, well done. Keep it up.
Let's see if I can continue.
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone's sort of calling a very solid support at 30K. I think we're all out of business if it just plummets.
Yeah, if it keeps going. I have seen some gaps being filled. I have seen some charts with 24 and 18K, and I'm just like, it's not, I don't see that.
Yeah, no, those charts certainly suggest that. I mean, but you know, on the other hand, God, you know, it does feel strange that we've got so far so fast.
Yeah.
And we are talking in those terms. We know there can be curveballs in this industry, and on that note, you know, you've got to follow it on the daily. So I'm sure you all know who Lisa is. She's posting charts every hour on Twitter. So follow closely, people. Every minute in
the last week. So hopefully in this next week it'll be a little bit quieter.
Yeah, I know you're busy with your script. How's the movie coming along?
So script is now at version 41. I think this is it. We completed it today. I had a 4-hour meeting while BTC was crashing, and it was just like happening in the background as I was doing that. So that was an interesting experience. Anyway, so yeah, so version 41 is amazing. So the version before that has won 4 awards, and yeah, I think moving forward, I've got, you know, producers on board. I've got everything happening. We just need COVID to end now so we can get this filmed.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're getting there, aren't we?
It's an epic movie. It really is. It's like it's going to give Wolf of Wall Street a run for its money.
Well, I mean, look at the subject matter of that film. I think that the crypto just leaves penny stocks for dead. I mean, look at how this entire space has changed so dramatically, and continues to on a weekly basis. I mean, it really is just a moving feast of.
Yeah. So, and I think, once it does come out, it will bring so many new people into the space as well. So it's not a negative film. It has a positive message. It has a positive message for crypto. I'm not one of those people that's ever going to, this is my livelihood, and, I just want to build it up. So, yeah.
Too many people that know this space and all the interesting characters involved better than you, Lisa. So
I've got some very interesting characters, and it'll be interesting for the people out there trying to work out, because the names have all been changed. And not all of the names, but most of the names. So it'll be interesting to work out who these people are.
Yeah. Awesome. So look, thank you very much for your time. It's very late here.
Yes.
I'm finally out of quarantine. Got to see my family for the first time in years. I know it's getting on in the evening for you.
Hi, Kathy.
Oh no, she's long gone in bed. I'm actually my brother's sitting next to me here. His partner's name is Kim, so we've got Kath and Kim in the house. And I know you were actually on that show. Only the Australasians watching will get that one.
Yeah, they will.
Hey, listen, thanks for joining us, Lisa. We'll see you again soon. And
thank you everyone for joining us, and we will see you next week, I'm sure.
Absolutely, and you know the deal. We're always on time. Just add.
I'm always on time. Sean's a tick card.
Okay. Thanks for watching, everyone. Links below.